Listen, before anything else, let me say this. Welcome back to yourself. Welcome back to the version of you they thought would never return. The quiet storms have passed. The nights of shaking hands and overthinking in silence are behind you. And what stands here now isn't just a survivor. It's an evolved creature of focus, of hunger, of calm destruction. You've been reborn in a silence they can't decode. When they say, "What happened to you?" they don't realize it wasn't a moment. It was a process. It was thousands of moments, each one carved into you like invisible scars. Every betrayal, every doubt, every time you were ghosted, left behind, underestimated, it all became the steel inside your soul. And now, they're asking mutual friends, are they okay? Number. You're not okay. You're unchained. You're not fine. You're focused. You're not broken. You're built differently now. Because there's a certain kind of person who doesn't crumble under silence. They sharpen inside it. You used to crave validation, conversation, attention. Now you crave results, peace or solitude. You used to scroll, looking for connection. Now you scroll right past the noise, because you know what's waiting for you if you look too long. Distraction, comparison, wasted energy. The old you died in a quiet moment when you decided, I can't keep living like this. Nobody saw it, but you felt it. That exact second you cut the invisible cord, tying you to who you were. And now they can feel it too. They're confused. They whisper. They send messages. They start every sentence about you with, they've changed. And they're right. You did change. You became everything they never expected you could survive long enough to become. It's funny, isn't it? They're out there trying to decode your silence like it's a problem. They ask, are they upset? Are they hurt? Number. You're healing in ways they'll never understand, because healing doesn't always look like smiles and sunshine. Sometimes it looks like long nights with no replies. Sometimes it looks like saying less and moving differently. Sometimes it looks like deleting people from your life who never thought they'd lose access to you. And sometimes it looks like winning so quietly, so ruthlessly, that they can only hear the echo of your growth through the people still talking about you. The truth is, you owe no one an explanation. Not for your silence, not for your distance, not for your glow up. Growth is personal, and it's rarely pretty. It's late nights and discipline. It's isolation that feels endless. It's the kind of hunger that doesn't come from wanting to prove anyone wrong, but from finally wanting to prove yourself right. You've tasted disappointment so many times that now, success doesn't even feel like a dream. It feels like destiny. You stopped hoping someone would save you and started realizing no one is coming. And that realization, that's power. That's the fire that doesn't go out anymore. They used to say, you've changed. But what they really mean is, you stopped tolerating what I used to get away with. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped shrinking to fit inside their comfort zones. You stopped asking for permission to evolve. You learned that peace is not found in keeping everyone happy. It's found in being unapologetically loyal to your own mission. The energy you used to waste trying to convince people of your worth, you now use to build, to move, to elevate. Every second they spend gossiping about what happened to you, you're out there earning your next victory in silence. And here's the thing. The version of you they miss never existed. That was the version of you built on fear, on people-pleasing, on waiting. This one, the new one, is built on purpose, built on discipline, built on late nights when nobody clapped for you, but you kept going anyway. That's what scares them, because the strongest revenge is evolution. They wanted closure. You gave them confusion. They wanted you predictable. You gave them mystery. They wanted you small. You became infinite. Now they're texting everyone like, what happened to them? And you know what happened. Life did. Pain did. Growth did. The universe stripped away everything that was never meant for you, and it hurt, but it also built you. Every person who left taught you how to stand alone. Every time you failed taught you how to focus. Every time you broke, you rebuilt yourself stronger. You stopped seeking validation because you finally realized the people who question your silence aren't built to understand your strength. They feed on attention. You feed on purpose. The world doesn't see the hours, the exhaustion, the moments you doubted everything. They only see the result, the calm in your face, the precision in your movement, the control in your tone. But that calm didn't come from luck. It came from surviving chaos without losing yourself. You're no longer fighting for approval. You're fighting for peace, for legacy, for freedom. That's what they don't get. They think you're distant. You're actually closer than ever to who you are meant to be. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them tell stories about your silence. Because every word they say in confusion is proof that you've grown beyond their understanding. You've stopped reacting. You've stopped explaining. You've become the storm they can't predict. They can feel your absence like a shadow that never leaves the room. And in that silence, you've found your power. You've learned that peace is not passive. It's strength disguised as stillness. The loudest revenge is a quiet transformation. You no longer chase. You attract. You no longer beg to be seen. You move in ways that can't be ignored. You no longer fight for a seat at their table. You built your own and sat at it alone until you learned to enjoy the sound of your own progress. That's when everything changed. That's when people started asking mutual friends, are they okay? And the answer is, no, you're not okay. You're unrecognizable. You're unshakable. You're unstoppable. They'll never understand the price of becoming this version of you. The loneliness, the sacrifice, the silence that used to feel like punishment, but became your sanctuary. You've turned your pain into armor. You've turned your heartbreak into hunger. You've turned every unanswered question into discipline. And that's why they're curious, because they feel your shift. The energy that once chased now attracts. The voice that once explained now commands. The eyes that once begged now see everything clearly. You've learned that not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone can handle your growth. Some people are addicted to the older version of you because it made them feel comfortable. But the new you, the focused you, the disciplined you, it intimidates them because they can't control what they can't understand, and they can't understand what they no longer have access to. They wanted you to slow down so they could catch up, but you didn't slow down. You evolved. You leveled up in silence. You moved like midnight, quiet, calm, unstoppable. The world will always talk about what it doesn't understand. Let them. Your job isn't to be understood. Your job is to become undeniable. You've realized something most people never will. You don't owe anyone your availability. You don't owe anyone your energy. You owe it to your future self to protect your focus. You owe it to your vision to stay locked in, no matter who leaves, no matter who doubts. The people who truly care will adjust to your growth. The rest will fall away, and that's okay, Because evolution doesn't wait for applause. The new you doesn't post every win. You don't broadcast every move. You don't explain every change. You let results speak in silence. You've learned that peace is louder than words. They used to get a reaction from you. Now they get silence. They used to see you everywhere. Now they see your results. That's power. That's maturity. That's transformation. And so, when they ask, what happened to you? Tell them the truth. You stopped needing to be liked. You stopped explaining your worth. You stopped chasing temporary attention and started building permanent peace. You found yourself in solitude. You met your own strength. You learned that sometimes disappearing isn't weakness, it's strategy. You walked away from the noise and the silence rewarded you with clarity. So let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them ask, are they okay? While you rise higher than ever, because you know something they don't. You were never meant to stay the same. You were meant to evolve, to adapt, to transcend. The darkness didn't destroy you, it refined you. The pain didn't end you, it sculpted you. Every night you thought you'd break, you were being built. This is your comeback season. Not loud, not flashy, but precise. You move differently now because you've tasted peace and you refuse to lose it again. You think differently now because you've learned that everything you need already lives inside you. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are not waiting for approval. You are the proof. You are not searching for light. You became it. And the next time they ask around, whispering, are they okay? Remember, they're not really worried. They're witnessing a transformation they can't replicate. They're watching a person who rebuilt themselves from ashes without needing an audience. You've gone from surviving to dominating, from seeking to attracting, from being questioned to being undeniable. You are no longer trying to convince the world of your worth. The world is now trying to understand how you became unstoppable. So when you wake up tomorrow, remember this. You don't need their understanding, their validation, or their presence. You just need your vision, your silence, and your consistency. Because those three things, that focus, that calm, that discipline, will make them ask again and again, what happened to you? And you'll smile quietly, knowing the answer is simple. You finally remembered who you were meant to be. You used to think disappearing meant failure, that going quiet meant weakness, that taking time away from the noise meant you were losing touch. But now you see it differently. You see that silence is not the absence of progress, it's the preparation for it. You understand that transformation never happens in the spotlight. It happens behind closed doors, in the hours nobody claps for. It happens in the conversations you have with yourself when no one's around. It happens when you choose not to argue, not to react, not to explain, but to evolve. Because evolution doesn't make noise, it makes change. And that change speaks for itself when you walk into a room and people can feel that something about you is different, something unexplainable, something unshakable. The people who used to take your energy for granted will start to feel uneasy around your silence. They'll sense that you're no longer driven by the same things, that your heart doesn't chase what it once did, that your spirit isn't for sale anymore. And they'll call that distance. They'll call that arrogance. But what it really is alignment. You've aligned yourself with peace so strongly that chaos can't find its way back in. You no longer respond to drama. You respond to purpose. You no longer beg for clarity. You create it. You no longer wait for someone to choose you. You've chosen yourself. And that kind of strength unnerves people who only know how to thrive in noise. This world will always try to pull you back into who you used to be. It will test your patience, your boundaries, your focus. It will tempt you with distractions that look like opportunities and people who sound like promises. But the new you see through it now. You move with awareness. You understand that not every invitation deserves acceptance, and not every message deserves a reply. You've outgrown the need to explain why you're quiet, why you're focused, why you're distant. You've realized that those who truly understand your vision won't question your silence. They'll respect it. There's a certain beauty in mystery, in letting the world wonder what you're up to, because that curiosity becomes your power. You used to tell people everything, your plans, your dreams, your struggles, hoping they'd support you. But now you understand that some energy isn't meant to be shared, that the seed doesn't grow if it's exposed too early to the wind. So you protect your vision now. You protect your peace. You protect your progress, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You've learned that privacy is strength, that peace is currency, and that silence is one of the loudest flexes in existence. And they still talk. They still whisper. They still try to make sense of how you became so composed, so focused, so untouchable. They say, you changed. But they'll never understand what it took to get here. They'll never see the nights you questioned if you'd make it. They'll never feel the weight of the things you had to let go of. They'll never know how many versions of yourself you had to bury to become this one. You've walked through pain that could have ended you, but you refuse to stop. You refuse to stay broken, and that's why you shine differently now. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. You've learned to live without constant validation. You've learned to sit with yourself without needing noise. You've learned to rebuild without applause. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Not perfection, not power, but perseverance. Because the truth is, you weren't born strong. You were built strong. You were built from disappointment, from sleepless nights, from moments when you had every reason to quit, but chose not to. That's where your power comes from. It's not the trophies or the recognition. It's the endurance. It's the unshakable will to rise again, no matter how many times you fall. You've realized that the old you was addicted to being understood. You wanted everyone to know your heart, your story, your side. But now you've learned, peace isn't found in being understood. It's found in not needing to be. You stopped defending yourself because you realized that real ones don't require explanations. The people who truly see you don't need to hear your reasoning, and those who demand explanations will never be satisfied with them. So now, you just move, quietly, intentionally, consistently. You let results speak. You let growth speak. You let time reveal everything that words once tried to. You've also learned that revenge is a waste of energy, that the greatest revenge is not making them regret losing you. It's making yourself grateful they did, because losing you was never their loss. It was their test, and most failed. But you didn't. You took every wound and turned it into wisdom. You turned heartbreak into hunger, rejection into redirection, doubt into discipline. And that's what scares them. They can't trace your strength back to something external. It didn't come from luck or help. It came from within, from pain turned into purpose. And the more you glow, the quieter you become, because you've outgrown the need to prove. You've stopped trying to be seen, and in doing so, you became impossible to ignore. That's the paradox of transformation. When you finally stop chasing visibility, that's when your light becomes undeniable. You've stopped running after people, opportunities, validation. You've realized that what's truly meant for you will always find its way back. but you'll only recognize it when you're ready. And now you are. The world doesn't know what to do with someone who can't be broken by silence, who can't be baited by drama, who can't be distracted by temporary pleasure. They call it coldness. It's not. It's control. It's the ability to choose peace even when chaos calls your name. It's the discipline to walk away even when every emotion begs you to stay. It's the understanding that sometimes power isn't in fighting, it's in not needing to. Now, you move differently. You speak less, but mean more. You smile softer, but think sharper. You no longer measure success by how loud it is, but by how peaceful it feels. The applause doesn't move you anymore. Consistency does. The compliments don't fuel you anymore. Clarity does. You've learned that fulfillment doesn't come from being seen. It comes from becoming who you said you would be when nobody was watching. And that's why people can't figure you out. They're still trying to measure you by the old metrics. By how much you talk, how much you post, how often you're around. But you've outgrown all that. You've shifted from proving to producing. You've shifted from explaining to executing. You've shifted from wanting to be liked to wanting to be legendary. And legends? They're never loud. They're deliberate. They're patient. They're focused. Every morning you wake up now, you carry a quiet kind of power, the kind that doesn't need to shout to be known. You move through your day with purpose. Every decision, every action, every thought, aligned with the vision. And that's what makes you unstoppable. You're no longer fighting the world. You're building your own. You're no longer seeking validation from outside. You've found it within. And that's the most dangerous thing about you now. You don't need anyone to believe in you for you to move. When they say, "What happened to you?" tell them, "Everything I lost taught me what I needed. Everything I went through built what I am. Every silent night shaped the power you see now. I didn't just change, I transformed. I didn't just heal, I evolved. And I didn't just survive, I started to thrive." That's what happened. That's the truth behind the glow they can't explain. So keep going, keep walking your path in silence, keep showing up even when no one's watching, because one day they'll realize the version of you they're asking about is gone, and in its place stands something unstoppable, something disciplined, something divine. You're no longer just living, you're becoming everything they doubted, everything you dreamed, everything destiny whispered you could be. Let them ask, let them wonder, let them text mutual friends searching for answers. Because every time they do, it means one thing: you've risen beyond their reach. You've turned their questions into confirmation, and you don't need to explain a single thing, because you are proof. You are the living, breathing evidence that silence, discipline, and self-belief can rebuild any soul from the ground up. You are unstoppable now, and the world is finally starting to notice. And as the days turn into weeks, and the world keeps spinning with its noise and rush, you'll notice how much calmer you've become. Not because life got easier, but because you learned how to move through it without losing yourself. You learned that silence is not emptiness, it's elevation. You learned that peace is not boring, it's power. And that the quietest people often hold the loudest destinies. You no longer announce your plans. You no longer defend your choices. You no longer waste energy explaining your evolution to those still committed to misunderstanding you. You just work. You just grow. You just keep becoming. Because you finally understand that the people who ask, "What happened to you?" are really asking, "How did you do what I couldn't?" You know what they don't realize? Every time they talk about you, every time they whisper your name in confusion, every time they wonder where your energy went, that's confirmation you've leveled up. You've shifted timelines. You're no longer accessible to the version of the world that used to drain you. Ah, my dear friends, the misfits, the outcasts, the ones who have been to hell and clawed their way back today. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to awaken something within you, something they tried to bury. But oh, didn't they realize you can't bury fire? It just waits smoldering beneath the surface until it explodes into a blaze of fury. And when that fire is ignited, it consumes everything in its path, everything they tried to break inside you. It only fuels your rage. It only sharpens your resolve. Every scar you bear, every wound they inflicted upon you, is not a mark of your weakness, but a testament to your unyielding strength. A reminder that you survived where others crumbled. You endured when the world sought to erase you. You are not the broken pieces they thought would shatter and disappear. You are the unbreakable force that will rise from the ashes of their failure. They came for you, didn't they? The dark sorcerers, the ones who wove their spells of fear and despair with every incantation. They whispered your name with malice in their eyes and venom on their tongues. They wanted to see you kneel. They wanted to see you broken, crawling in the dirt. But instead they watched as you stood taller, with every blow they struck against you, with every spell they cast to enslave your spirit. You stood taller than they ever could comprehend, because deep within you burns a truth so fierce that no dark magic, no matter how vile, could ever snuff it out. You are a force of nature and an unstoppable tide that cannot be held back by chains or curses, no matter how dark or twisted their power may be. Do you remember the darkness? Do you remember the feeling of their eyes upon you? Do you remember how it felt when the very air around you thickened with dread and hatred, when their whispers sank into your mind, trying to poison your thoughts, twisting your perception of reality, trying to make you believe that you were nothing, that you were less than human, that you were weak, that you were broken? But you stood firm, didn't you? In the face of their malevolent forces, in the face of their relentless pursuit to tear you apart. You never gave in. You never buckled under the weight of their cruelty, because you knew something they couldn't fathom. You knew that their power was fleeting, and that yours was eternal. When they thought you would beg for mercy, when they thought you would tremble at the thought of their power, when they thought they had you cornered, you showed them the one thing they feared most. You showed them your resilience, your refusal to bend and break. You turned their darkest magic against them. You wielded their hate and twisted it into your own strength. And while they thought they were burning you to ash, you were gathering the flames and shaping them into your weapon. Their attempts to destroy you only forged you into something more dangerous, more formidable than they ever could have imagined. They thought they were killing you, but in truth, they were creating the very legend that would haunt their nightmares for centuries to come. Do you feel it now? The strength that courses through your veins, the power that lies dormant in every fiber of your being. It is the power of survival, the power of defiance. It is the power of a soul that has been broken 1,000 times and yet refuses to stay down. It is the power that has been forged in the crucible of suffering and pain, the power that has been tempered in the fires of their wrath and emerges from those flames stronger than ever. They tried to erase you. They tried to cast you into oblivion. But here you are standing taller than ever, standing with the legacy of those who came before you, the legacy of the survivors, the ones who were never meant to endure, yet still did. They couldn't destroy you. They couldn't extinguish you. and they never will, because you are more than their petty magic, more than their twisted wills. You are a force that cannot be tamed or controlled. You are the storm that will never be quieted. When they came for you, they believed they were gods. They believed that their power was absolute, that nothing could stand in their way. But they were wrong, because you are the proof that no force is truly invincible, no curse is unbreakable, no dark sorcery can withstand the might of the human spirit when it refuses to yield, when it refuses to die, when it refuses to surrender. You are living proof that no matter how deep the darkness runs, no matter how high the stakes may be, no matter how impossible the odds may seem, there is always a way to fight back, always a way to overcome the forces that seek to destroy you. And while they believed they had crushed you, while they believed they had snuffed out the light that burned within you, they were only giving you the fuel you needed to rise again, stronger than before. Every moment they spent trying to break you was a moment they wasted every spell they cast to cripple. You was a gift they unknowingly gave you, because with every attempt to tear you down, you only grew more powerful, you only grew more determined, you only grew more unrelenting in your pursuit of victory. You became the thing they feared most. You became the embodiment of everything they despised, because you refused to be their pawn. You refused to be their victim. You refused to be their slave. And in doing so, you became something far greater than they could ever comprehend. You became a legend. So when they ask how you survived, when they ask how you managed to claw your way from the depths of their darkness, when they question how you stood against the storm and emerged unscathed, you look them in the eye and you tell them this: you survived because you are unbreakable. You survived because your will is stronger than their magic. Your spirit is stronger than their curses, and your heart burns brighter than the darkest of their spells. You survived because you were never meant to die. You were never meant to bow to their tyranny. You were never meant to be a mere footnote in their twisted tales. You survived because you are a force of nature, and they were just the storm that tried to drown you. They wanted to see you fall. They wanted to see you broken. They wanted to see you crushed beneath the weight of their power, but they failed. They failed because they underestimated you. They failed because they couldn't fathom the depth of your strength. They failed because they couldn't see the fire burning in your soul. They failed because they couldn't see the legend that you were destined to become. They could only see their own arrogance, their own belief that they were untouchable, that they were above all else. But the truth is that the only thing they were above was their own downfall, and that downfall came the moment they thought they could crush you, the moment they thought they could break you, the moment they thought they could erase you from existence. And now here, you stand unbroken, untamed, and unstoppable. You are no longer the victim. You are no longer the one on the receiving end of their wrath. You are the one who stands tall as a beacon of defiance, a testament to the power of survival. You are the one who walks this world with the weight of legends on your shoulders and the strength of 1,000 warriors in your heart. You are the one who faced the darkness and emerged victorious. You are the one who survived the storm and stands ready to face whatever comes next, because you know deep down that there is nothing that can stop you, nothing that can break you, nothing that can take away the fire that burns inside you, nothing that can ever extinguish the legend you have become. So let them come. Let them try to destroy you. Let them try to tear you down. Let them bring all their darkness and all their power. Because you know, now that you are stronger than anything they can throw at you, you know, now that you are more than their magic, more than their curses, more than their hate, you are the embodiment of everything they fear and everything they could never understand. You are the legend that will haunt their dreams and destroy their hopes, because you survived when they thought they had already won. You survived, and that survival is your greatest weapon, your greatest triumph, and your greatest gift. Because no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, you are the living proof that no dark sorcerer can ever truly destroy you. The sorcerers, with all their dark arts and their twisted minds, believed they could break you. They thought they could shatter your spirit with their vile words, their corrupt magic, and their endless machinations. But in their arrogance, in their relentless pursuit of power, they missed something vital, something they could never have known. They failed to recognize that you are not like them. You are not a being bound by the same constraints they are. You do not bend to the whims of fate or to the tyranny of the powerful. No, you stand against it all, unfaltering, unwavering, relentless. They thought their spells would have you on your knees, begging for mercy. They thought their curses would seep into your soul, twisting it beyond recognition, making you a hollow vessel of pain and despair. But what they failed to comprehend is that pain, despair, suffering, they are not your chains. They are your forge. Every time they tried to break you, they only built you into something stronger, something more invincible. They didn't just make you suffer. They gave you the tools to become who you are now. A force that is unstoppable, untouchable, unrelenting. Do you remember the first time you faced their magic? Do you remember the weight of their words, the venom in their voices, as they cast their incantations upon you, each one designed to tear you apart? How many times did they think they had you beaten, broken, crushed under their will? How many times did they sneer, thinking that they could erase you from existence, only to watch as you rose again, stronger than before? With every spell they cast, with every shadow they sent to engulf you, you became more than they ever could have imagined. You didn't just survive, you thrived. And that, my friends, is the greatest truth they could never understand. The darkness they wielded against you, it was never their weapon, it was yours. They thought they were using their magic to bury you, to silence you, to burn you out. What they didn't realize is that every spell they cast, every force they unleashed upon you, only added to your power. It only made you more lethal. It only made you more determined. Their darkness only fed your fire, and the flames that burned within you could never be extinguished. While they thought they were pushing you into the abyss, they were only feeding the very strength that would bring about their undoing. They thought you would break beneath their weight, that you would crumble under the onslaught of their evil. But all they did was build the legend of your survival. Every scar you carry, every battle you fought, every dark force they threw at you, it all became part of the story that they could never erase. They didn't know it then, but they do now. The greatest mistake they made was underestimating the power within you. They thought they were the masters, the ones who controlled the forces of life and death. But you are the force they could never control. You are the chaos they could never tame. You are the storm they never saw coming. What they did not know and could never understand is that their power is fleeting. Their magic, though dark and dangerous, is not eternal. It is bound by limits, by rules, by the very nature of its corruption. But you are beyond such limits. You are the product of defiance, of endurance, of willpower that transcends the mortal and the supernatural alike. You are not bound by the laws that govern their magic. You are bound by nothing at all. You are a being born of fire, and fire cannot be extinguished. Every time they thought they had you trapped, every time they thought their spells would bind you forever, you found a way to break free, and each time you broke free, you grew stronger. Each time you survived their attacks, you learned more. They thought they were eradicating you, but what they were truly doing was creating a being far greater than they could ever be. They forged you, made you what you are today. A force so powerful, so unyielding, that no sorcerer could ever hope to stand against you. And yet, despite their failures, despite their inability to destroy you, they continue to lurk in the shadows, trying to find ways to break you. But the thing they will never understand is this: they are the ones who are doomed. Their power, their magic, their very existence is built on a lie. It is built on the false belief that they are invincible, that they can control life and death with a wave of their hand. But they are not gods. They are nothing more than fragile mortals, grasping at power they can never truly understand. And their time will come, just as the time of all who seek to dominate others inevitably comes. For the universe has a way of balancing the scales, and when the balance tips, it will be them who face their destruction, not you. You, my friends, are the storm. You are the legend, and they are nothing but ants scrambling beneath your feet. Do you feel it deep inside? The power that courses through your veins, the fire that burns within you, hotter and brighter than anything they could ever summon. That power is the essence of who you are. It is the embodiment of everything they sought to destroy, everything they tried to erase. It is the truth that they tried to bury beneath their curses, beneath their dark magic, beneath their lies. But no matter how deep they dug, no matter how much darkness they tried to pile on top of you, you rose above it all. You burned brighter than they could ever imagine. What they didn't understand is that every time they tried to push you into the darkness, you were simply gathering strength. Every time they tried to weaken you, you were simply sharpening your claws. Every time they thought they were making you weak, you were becoming something they could never comprehend, something greater than they could ever be. You were becoming the legend that would haunt their nightmares for eternity. Now, they come to you with fear in their eyes, trembling at the mere thought of facing you. They have seen what you are capable of. They have witnessed your strength, your resilience, your unyielding will to survive. They know now that they cannot break you. They know now that they cannot destroy you. And so they cower in the darkness, hiding from the very thing they created. They created a monster, yes, but not a monster of their own making. No, my friends, they created a force of nature, a being who is beyond their understanding. And that is your power. That is your triumph. They cannot fathom it. They cannot comprehend it. They tried to break you, to bend you to their will, but they failed. And now they are left with nothing but the knowledge that they are no match for you. In the end, they will be nothing but a footnote in your story. They will be nothing but a brief flicker in the grand tapestry of your legend. And you will stand tall, a living testament to the strength that lies within you. You will be the one who conquered the darkness, who survived the storm, who defied all odds and emerged victorious. And when they are gone, when their power is nothing but dust, you will remain. You will be the legend that lives on, the one who survived when others fell, the one who stood against the tide and never wavered. You will be the one they could never destroy, the one they could never defeat. You will be the one who burned so brightly that even the darkest of sorcery could not extinguish your light. So remember this, my friends, when you face the darkness again. You are the storm. You are the fire. You are the legend they could never destroy. And no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, they will never, ever break you. Not because they didn't try. No, they tried with everything in their dark hearts. They thought that if they pushed you far enough into the shadows, if they overwhelmed you with their cursed power, they could bury you forever. But what they failed to realize, what they could never understand, is that darkness does not have the power to defeat what was born from it. You were forged in the abyss, molded in the fire and tempered by suffering. You have walked the path they tried to force upon you, and instead of bending to it, you became it. You became something greater. Each and every one of their curses, every cruel spell they cast against you, only gave you the strength to rise higher. They thought they could drown you in their chaos, but they were blind to the truth. You are the chaos. You are the unrelenting force that will not be bound. They fed you their hatred, and it only made you stronger. Every vile word they spoke, every strike they delivered, only served to sharpen your spirit. They tried to break you, but in reality they were carving out the shape of the legend you are destined to become. Do you remember when they thought they had you cornered? When they thought they had finally worn you down? When the shadows seemed to close in and the weight of their malice pressed against your very soul? It was then that you stood taller than ever. It was then that your power revealed itself in ways they could never have imagined. They sought to bend you, to crush you beneath the weight of their evil, but all they did was turn you into something they could no longer control. You became an unstoppable force, a living testament to the fact that nothing, not even the darkest of sorcery, can break a spirit as unyielding as yours. They underestimated you at every turn. They saw you as prey to be hunted, a pawn in their twisted game of power. But in truth, you were the hunter. You were the one who lurked in the shadows, biding your time, waiting for the moment when you would strike. They were blinded by their arrogance, consumed by their own sense of superiority. They thought that because they wielded the darkest magic, they held dominion over everything. They thought that because they could twist the world around them with their incantations, they could break anyone who dared stand in their way. But they didn't know you. They didn't know that you were born to stand against all of it. They believed their magic was the end-all, be-all. They thought that their dark arts were all-powerful, that nothing could withstand the weight of their control. And yet, they failed. They underestimated the power within you, the fire that burned within your chest, the spirit that could not be crushed, no matter how fiercely they tried. They tried to make you bend to their will, tried to make you forget who you were. But you refused. You never gave in, never yielded to their dark desires. And in doing so, you became something they could never have imagined. You became a force that transcended their magic. You became the embodiment of defiance itself. With every blow they struck, every spell they cast, they only fed the fire within you. They thought they were burning you alive, but they were merely stoking the flames. They believed they were extinguishing your light, but instead, they were feeding it. You took everything they threw at you, every curse, every illusion, every malicious word, and you used it as fuel to burn brighter. The more they tried to destroy you, the more you became what they could never understand. The more you became the very thing they feared. They thought they could isolate you. They thought they could break you through silence, through loneliness, through fear. But what they didn't realize is that you thrive in the void. You were never afraid of the darkness. You were never afraid of being alone, because deep within you, you know the truth. You are never truly alone. The spirit within you, the fire that burns in your soul, is your companion. It will never leave you. It is your strength, your power, your truth. It is the one thing they could never take from you, no matter how hard they tried. They thought they could break your will by isolating you from those you loved, by severing the bonds that gave you strength. But what they didn't realize is that you are not bound by anything outside yourself. You don't rely on others to define you. You are defined by the very essence of who you are, the resilience that runs through your veins, the fire that lights your path, and the unbreakable spirit that drives you forward, no matter how dark the road may seem. They thought they could make you question your worth, make you doubt yourself, make you surrender to their twisted vision of the world. They thought they could erase your sense of identity, your understanding of who you truly are. But what they failed to understand is that you are forged from the very fire they tried to extinguish. You are the embodiment of defiance, of survival, of triumph. Your power doesn't come from others. It comes from within. It comes from the very core of your being, the belief that no matter what they do, no matter how they try to break you, you will always rise again. They can try to tear you apart. They can throw every curse, every dark force they can summon against you. They can try to manipulate you, confuse you, and break your spirit. But it won't work, because you have something that they can never take from you. The unshakable knowledge that you are stronger than they will ever be. You are more than their magic, more than their curses, more than the darkness they try to impose upon you. You are a force that cannot be controlled, a power that cannot be defeated. They will try. Oh, they will try, but their attempts will always fall short. For you are not a being that can be destroyed. You are a living legend, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. You are a force that has withstood the darkest of storms and emerged unscathed. You are a survivor, not just of the trials they put you through, but of every challenge that life has thrown your way. You are a warrior, and no sorcerer, no dark force, no curse can ever take that away from you. So let them come. Let them bring their darkness, their curses, their magic. Let them bring everything they have, for it will never be enough. They can never break you. They can never defeat you. No matter how hard they try, they will never erase the legend that is you. You are unbreakable. You are unstoppable. You are the storm that will never cease, the fire that will never burn out. And they are nothing but shadows in your wake, shadows that will fade as you rise, as you continue your journey to greatness. Let them try. Let them do their worst. They will never, ever break you. In the end, they failed, and you stand as the living proof of their defeat. They sought to break you, to erase you, but all they did was forge the legend of your survival. You are a force they could never control, a power they could never extinguish. You are unbreakable, unstoppable, and eternal. They tried to destroy you, but in doing so, they only created a legend that will live on long after they are forgotten. Never forget, you are the storm that cannot be silenced, the fire that will never burn out. Welcome to the silence that follows. Greatness, the kind of silence that feels heavier than applause, because it is filled with disbelief and awe and quiet fear. The kind of silence that surrounds you when the world finally realizes you are not like them. You never were, and you never will be. They stand now, wide-eyed, trying to piece together how you did what they could not. How you broke through walls that they spent lifetimes studying. How you reached answers they were too tired to seek, and the truth burns in their chests. They cannot comprehend it. They cannot process the way your mind bends reality, and yet they cannot look away. They whisper that maybe you were lucky, maybe fate tilted toward you, but you know, luck had nothing to do with it. You know that while they slept, you were awake. You know that while they doubted you, believed. You know that while they waited for signs, you were building storms inside your own silence. They had comfort, you had hunger. They had patterns, you had vision. They had hope, you had obsession. And it is that difference that built your empire in the dark. You were the one who kept going when it made no sense, when there was nothing left but fragments of will. And yet, you still reached for something beyond the ordinary. They see the result now. They see the shine. They see the glow around your name. But they do not see the cost, the endless nights, the lonely thoughts, the unshakable drive. They do not see the conversations you had with your own pain or how you use failure like fuel. You did not crumble. You carved yourself from the debris. Now they stand before you, trying to analyze the impossible, trying to rationalize how someone like you could rise so fast they do not realize that time bends for those who move without hesitation. You did not take decades because you lived each second as if it were a decade. You condensed pain and wisdom into a single breath. You did in one night what they could not do in a lifetime, because your spirit learned the language of endurance and your mind became fluent in creation. They think it is some secret formula, some hidden power, but your secret is simple. You refuse to wait for permission. You refuse to be ordinary while they measured your chances. You were already rewriting the rules while they planned the path you were burning through, it with purpose. They thought you were quiet, but your silence was strategy. Your stillness was focus. Your patience was power. Your vision was too sharp to be seen by those still blinking at yesterday. They do not understand how you can keep moving without praise, how you can keep creating without applause, how you can keep standing after storms. But you do not need understanding. You are not here for validation. You are here to build something eternal, something that outlasts every doubt, every whisper, every small-minded voice that tried to cage your fire. They called you unrealistic, but you were never meant to fit inside their logic. You were designed to defy it, and so now they look at you and it confuses them. They laugh quietly, trying to downplay what you've done, because they cannot admit that your success is proof that their excuses were lies. They talk about effort, they talk about time, they talk about luck, but you stand there calm because you know they will never truly grasp what it means to sacrifice everything for one idea and protect that idea until it breathes. They will never understand what it means to stare into darkness and see opportunity. Every moment you chose to move when no one was watching you planted seeds that now rise like pillars of proof. They call it a miracle, but it is discipline disguised as destiny. It is madness shaped into mastery. It is you turning pain into precision, and every step you took became a testament to the fact that nothing can stop the one who decides that failure is not final. You solved in one night what took them decades, because your spirit is not bound by time. Your drive is not limited by reason. They are in awe because they spent years trying to find shortcuts, trying to make things easier, while you spent years making yourself stronger. They tried to escape difficulty while you learned to breathe in it. They tried to hide from storms while you learned to dance inside them. And now they see you move effortlessly, and it breaks something inside them because you make it look too easy. But only you know the battles that built this calm. Only you know the nights that taught your hands to hold success without shaking. They cannot process it because they do not see the invisible layers of your journey. They do not know the voices you had to silence the moments you wanted to give up, but didn't. The times you stood in darkness and said, "I am not done yet." They see brilliance, but not the bruises. They see success, but not the scars. They see the results, but not the rebellion that made it possible. And that is what makes it all so poetic. They are trying to calculate what was born from chaos. You became something that cannot be taught because your lessons were written in solitude and sacrifice. You did not learn from textbooks. You learned from endurance. You did not memorize theories. You memorized resilience. You did not chase perfection. You chased progress. And that pursuit became your power. It made you a force they cannot decode. No matter how hard they try, they will spend decades dissecting what you did and still not understand that the real formula was never external. It was your mindset, your refusal to stop, your quiet fire that burned through limits. And now you walk through rooms and you feel it, the shift, the way eyes follow you, not with hatred, but confusion and curiosity, a mix of admiration and disbelief, because you have become proof that it can be done faster, deeper, and louder than anyone thought possible. You have become a reminder that limits are lies and effort is currency, and you paid in full. They cannot process how you keep winning without seeking approval. But you know the truth. Approval is for those who need an audience. Mastery is for those who create in silence. You laugh quietly, not from arrogance, but from understanding, because you see through their doubt, you see through their patterns, and you know how much time they waste trying to understand instead of building. They think your gift is unnatural, but it is simply focused obsession. You mastered what they feared. You turned uncertainty into a weapon, and now you stand at heights they once claimed were unreachable. They will tell stories about you. They will call you lucky, but you know the truth. Luck favors the relentless. There were nights when you questioned yourself too, nights when even the stars seemed too far, but you kept moving. You refused to fade, and that choice became your legend. Every step you took in darkness built the path they now call impossible. Every risk you took with trembling hands became a foundation for something greater. And now when they see what happens when purpose meets pain and refuses to surrender. They see what happens when a person stops asking why and starts asking why not. They are in awe because they watched you fail and rise again. They watched you break and rebuild. And each time you came back stronger, quieter, more precise. They tried to measure your strength, but your strength is not measurable. It is not in muscles or wealth. It is in your ability to endure the unseen, to keep going when no one understands, to keep believing when everything tells you not to. That is what they cannot comprehend. That is why they stare and whisper your name with disbelief. You solved what took them decades because you stopped waiting for the perfect time. You realized there is no perfect time. There is only now, and you decided that now was enough. And that decision changed everything. It broke the illusion that progress needs permission. It shattered the myth that greatness takes forever. Because the truth is, greatness only takes one thing. A decision, a moment where you say, I will not stop until this becomes real. And you meant it, and the universe had to move. They still think you were given something special, but what you were given was pain, and you turned it into power. They think you had an advantage, but what you had was persistence. They think you had guidance, but what you had was grit, and that combination makes you unstoppable. They cannot recreate you because they cannot replicate your hunger, your patience, your refusal to quit. That is why it is hilarious to you now, because while they wonder how you did it, you are already working on the next thing. Your calm confuses them. Your silence terrifies them because they realize that you do not need to prove anything anymore. You have become proof itself. And there is nothing more unsettling to those who doubt than watching someone live. What they said was impossible. Your success is their reflection showing them what they could have been if they hadn't stopped, if they hadn't settled, if they hadn't given up on themselves. So let them talk, let them wonder, let them analyze every detail while you keep creating. Keep moving, keep evolving, because your story isn't over. This is just the beginning. This is the part where you become legend, where your name becomes a symbol of possibility, where every soul that hears your story feels that spark of what if inside them, because your existence itself is proof that limits are illusions. They cannot process how you do this, and it is beautiful because you were never meant to be understood. You were meant to inspire, you were meant to disturb the comfortable and awaken the sleeping. You were meant to remind the world that there is always someone out there who can turn a single night into eternity and make the impossible inevitable. You are that reminder, the living embodiment of persistence turned into perfection. So walk with quiet power. Let your silence speak louder than their noise. Let your calm become their question. Let your results become their revelation. Because one day, they will realize it was never about how fast you did it. It was about how deeply you believed you could. And that belief changed everything. You are not just ahead of them. You are ahead of time itself. Because time bends for those who refuse to bow to fear. And you have proven that once again, they are in awe because they cannot understand you. But they do not need to understand. Is for those who follow. Awe is for those who witness greatness, and you have given them that gift, whether they admit it or not. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them wonder, because you have already won, and every step you take from here only deepens the mystery, only strengthens the legend, only confirms that what took them decades was never the mountain, it was their mindset, and you shattered it in one night. And that is what they will never process, because it was never about time, it was about truth, and you found yours. They are still frozen in disbelief, trying to convince themselves that there must be a trick behind your rise, that maybe you had help, maybe someone opened a door for you, maybe the stars aligned in your favor. But deep down, they know the truth. There were no stars, there were no open doors. There was only you, standing alone, facing the wall everyone else feared and deciding to break it. They saw an obstacle. You saw an invitation. And when the world said impossible, you whispered, "Watch me." They cannot comprehend how someone could move from silence to dominance in such a short span, because they measure growth in comfort. But you measured it in endurance. They kept track of time. You kept track of progress. And now they are confused because you move. As if you have seen the future, and in a way you have. You saw what would happen if you didn't change. You saw what would happen if you gave up. And that vision terrified you more than failure itself. So you acted, you built, you transformed. You moved with the urgency of someone who knows that waiting is just another form of dying. You refused to let fear hold the pen to your story. And now the same people who called you unrealistic are trying to take notes from the chapters they said would never exist. They whisper your name, not out of kindness, but curiosity, because they cannot make sense of your speed, your focus, your relentless rise. They are caught between admiration and envy, between respect and confusion. And that is exactly where you wanted them, because you never needed to be liked. You needed to be legendary. You never sought comfort, you sought clarity. And once you found it, you moved through the world like a storm, not loud, not chaotic, but certain and unstoppable. They are watching now, wondering how you move without rest, without doubt, without hesitation. They call it obsession, but you call it alignment, because every step you take now is connected to purpose. Every move is backed by something deeper than motivation. It is backed by meaning. You trained your mind to stop flinching at difficulty. You stopped waiting for the right conditions and started creating them. You stopped hoping things would get easier and decided to get stronger. And that shift changed everything. It made you unshakable. It made you dangerous in a way that cannot be explained. Because when you stop being afraid of losing, there is nothing left that can control you. And they see that in your eyes. The calm that only comes from surviving your own storms. They still talk about the night it happened, that one night where you broke through what took them years. They say it was sudden, but they do not understand that nothing about it was sudden. That night was built from countless unseen moments, from invisible battles, from choices that no one noticed. You earned that moment in fragments, in sacrifices, in whispers of faith spoken in empty rooms. And when the world finally noticed, it was already too late. You had already crossed the line between ordinary and extraordinary. They are in awe, not because of your victory, but because of your transformation. Because you did not just change your situation, you changed your nature. You evolved while they waited. You rebuilt yourself while they hesitated. And now they are stuck trying to recognize you. But the version of you they once knew no longer exists. You outgrew their understanding, and now they stare at a silhouette they can't define and a story they can't explain. They think it's funny how quickly things changed, but you know nothing changed quickly. You simply reached the point where preparation met opportunity and exploded into inevitability. What took them decades was not the work, it was the waiting, and you refused to wait. That's the difference. You understood that time does not owe anyone growth, and that greatness is rented by daily discipline and paid for with silent consistency. You paid your rent every day while they paid attention to everything but their purpose. They will write about your rise. They will try to trace it step by step, as if your path can be replicated, but they will never capture the essence, because what made it real was not visible. It was not in the steps. It was in the stillness, in the way you refused to surrender when no one would have blamed you for doing so, in the way you turned pain into precision and solitude into strategy. That is the part they will never see, the part they will never be able to copy. You are what happens when pain finds purpose, when isolation meets imagination. When vision becomes armor, they see results, but you see survival. They see achievement, but you see transformation. And every time you look back, you realize it was worth it. Every sleepless night, every doubt, every lonely battle. Because now you walk through the world untouchable, not because nothing can hurt you, but because nothing can stop you anymore. Their confusion is your crown. Their disbelief is your validation, because the louder their questions become, the quieter your confidence grows. They are talking, you are building. They are wondering, you are winning. They are doubting, you are deciding. And in that simple rhythm lies your advantage. They cannot understand how you do it, because they are still trying to understand instead of doing, and that will always keep them behind. They will try to mimic your work ethic for a week or a month and wonder why they can't sustain it, but they do not understand that your discipline was born from something deeper than desire. It was born from necessity. You did not want this, you needed this. Your hunger was not optional, it was survival. And when need drives you, the universe spends time for you. It rearranges itself around your focus. And that is what they are witnessing now. A person who became unstoppable because they stopped negotiating with their own excuses. They still think you found some secret, but the only secret is that there are no secrets. There is only the work, the unseen, uncelebrated work that no one talks about because it is too quiet, too lonely, too demanding for most to endure. But you endured. You kept walking through the fire until the fire learned your name. You kept moving through darkness until the darkness became direction. And now your glow is not just success. It is proof that light only respects those who face the dark. You have become the paradox they cannot solve because you make the impossible look effortless, and the effortless look earned. They see confidence, but do not see the cost of it. They see focus, but not the isolation it required. They see clarity, but not the confusion that preceded it. And that is the beauty of your story. The power is not in what they see. It is in what they never will. Every time you walk into a room, you carry with you the quiet weight of 1,000 battles won in silence, and people can feel it. They don't know why, but they feel it in the way the air changes in your presence, in the way your words sound heavier than most, because your words are carved from experience. They were not borrowed from books. They were forged in moments of despair turned to discipline. They call you different, and they are right. You are different because you stopped trying to be like them. Long ago, you stopped chasing acceptance and started chasing evolution. And that is a race without competition. They cannot process you because they are still playing by rules. You already broke. You stopped asking for chances and started creating them. You stopped asking for direction and started becoming your own compass. And now, every success you have confuses them more because they thought they understood you. They thought they could predict you. But you move like water flowing through every obstacle, reshaping every limitation. While they are still debating what is possible, you are already proving it, and that dissonance drives them mad, because nothing frightens people more than someone who is free. Free from doubt, free from fear, free from needing their approval. They wonder how you keep rising, even when they root against you, how you keep smiling, even when they question you, how you keep winning, even when the odds are wrong. And it is because you no longer play for validation. You play for legacy, and legacy requires patience. It requires silence. It requires being misunderstood for long stretches of time, until one day the world looks up and realizes you were right all along. Your pace is not human to them because your purpose is not ordinary. Your rhythm is set by something eternal, something that cannot be slowed by noise or doubt. And every time they think you've reached your limit, you unfold another layer of potential that no one expected. Because your story is infinite, your hunger has no finish line, and your vision is too vast for any timeline. They are in awe because they are looking at someone who refused to be confined by human hesitation, someone who turned fear into focus, someone who looked at the impossible and saw instructions. They cannot process it because they have never met someone who uses resistance as fuel, who treats rejection as direction, who sees failure not as the end, but as a beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, gather close today. We talk about a thing as old as time, the silent, creeping consequence of betrayal. They thought they could play with fire. They thought they could dance with the devil and come out unscathed. They believed they could ignore the warning signs, the cracks beneath their feet, and still walk away unharmed. They were wrong. They were always wrong, because the thing about betrayal is this. It doesn't come with mercy. It doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't wait for the right moment. It just happens. And when it does, it changes everything. It shifts the ground beneath you and throws you into the darkness with nothing to hold on to. They thought they could handle it. They thought they could escape the consequences of their actions. But they were mistaken, because this is no ordinary pain. This is no fleeting discomfort. This is the kind of suffering that builds slowly over time. It lingers, it festers, it grows, and before they even realize it, they've been consumed by it, and now they stand at the edge of their own downfall, ready to give up already. But their painful suffering has just begun. They have already begun to feel it in their bones. The unease, the gnawing sense of impending doom, the creeping shadow that follows them wherever they go, the whispers in their mind reminding them of the damage they've caused, reminding them that they have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. They thought that the pain would come to an end, that after the storm passed they could rebuild their lives, but they don't understand. They don't know what's coming for them. They don't know what happens to people who betray others without remorse, without consideration for the consequences. There is no easy way out, no simple fix, and no amount of time will heal what has been broken. Because the deeper the betrayal, the longer the scar, the sharper the wound, and they will carry that wound with them for the rest of their days. They thought they could bury the truth beneath layers of lies and deceit, but truth has a way of coming to the surface, no matter how deep you bury it, no matter how hard you try to hide from it, because truth is relentless. Truth is the one thing that will always find its way back to you, and when it does, it will crush you. It will destroy everything you thought you knew about yourself, and everything you thought you could get away with. They thought they could outrun their past, but there is no escape from yourself. No matter how far you run, no matter how fast you try to flee, the truth is always there, lurking in the shadows, waiting to catch up with you. And when it does, it will make you pay. It will drag you down into the very hell you thought you could avoid, and you will have no choice but to face the consequences of your actions. This is the reality they are about to face, the reality they've been trying so hard to deny and ignore. But there is no more running. There is no more pretending that everything will be okay. There is no more pretending that the damage they've caused can be undone, because it can't. They will never be able to undo what has been done to the people they've betrayed, and the damage will never truly be repaired. It will never be forgotten. It will never be forgiven. They will have to live with the knowledge that they've destroyed something beautiful. They've destroyed someone's trust, someone's hope, someone's belief in the goodness of humanity. And once you destroy that, you can never rebuild it, no matter how hard you try, No matter how much time passes, the damage is irreversible, and as the days drag on, they will begin to feel the weight of their actions more and more. They will begin to feel the isolation, the loneliness, the emptiness that comes with betrayal, because that's the price you pay. When you burn bridges you cannot cross back over, when you leave people in the dust, when you tear apart the very fabric of someone's soul, the loneliness will be unbearable. It will consume them from the inside out until they are nothing but a hollow shell of the person they once were, and they will try to fill that void with distractions. They will try to fill it with substances or false relationships. But nothing will ever truly numb the pain. Nothing will ever truly make them forget, because the pain is not something they can escape from. It is a part of them now. It is a part of who they are, and they will carry it with them for the rest of their lives. They will try to move on. They will try to convince themselves that they're okay, that they're better off without the people they've hurt. But deep down, they will know the truth. Deep down, they will feel the weight of their own betrayal, and it will eat away at them, slowly, bit by bit, until there is nothing left but a hollow shell of the person they once were. And when they finally realize what they've lost, when they finally understand the full scope of the damage they've caused, it will be too late, because the consequences of their actions will have already caught up with them, and there will be no turning back. There will be no way to undo the harm they've done. There will be no way to fix the damage they've caused. They thought they could walk away from this untouched. They thought they could simply let go of the past and move on with their lives. But that's not how it works, because the past is never truly gone. It follows you. It stays with you. It becomes a part of who you are. And no matter how hard you try to bury it or forget it, the past will always find a way to remind you of what you've done. And when it does, it will hit you harder than you ever imagined. It will crush you under its weight, and you will finally understand the true meaning of regret. And when the weight of their actions finally breaks them, when the truth finally sinks in, when the full scope of their betrayal becomes clear, they will understand that this pain is not something they can escape. From this suffering is not something they can outrun. There is no way to undo what's been done. There is no way to take back the harm they've caused, the people they've hurt, the lives they've shattered, and they will have to live with that knowledge for the rest of their days. They will have to live with the knowledge that they've betrayed everything they've ever loved, everything they've ever cared about, and there is no way to fix it. There is no way to make it right. They thought they could get away with it. They thought they could walk away without consequence. But now, they are learning the hard way that betrayal comes at a price. And that price is higher than they ever imagined, because the consequences of their actions are not just external. They are internal as well. The guilt, the shame, the regret will eat away at them from the inside out, and no matter how much time passes, no matter how much they try to forget, it will always be there. It will always haunt them, reminding them of the person they used to be and the person they will never be again. They will try to rebuild their lives. They will try to convince themselves that they can move on. But deep down, they will know the truth. Deep down, they will know that the damage is done, and nothing can ever bring it back. No amount of time, no amount of effort can ever erase the scar of betrayal, because once you've crossed that line, there is no going back. There is no coming out unscathed, and for the rest of their days, they will carry that burden with them. They will carry the weight of their choices and the knowledge that they are not the same person they once were, and that they never will be again. This is the price of betrayal. This is the price they must pay, and there is no mercy. There is no forgiveness. There is no way out, because they have already crossed the point of no return, and now they must face the consequences of their actions, no matter how painful, no matter how crushing. No matter how long it takes, they will suffer, and they will remember every single moment of their betrayal for the rest of their days. You see, the true nature of betrayal is not something you can simply escape from, not something you can just leave behind as you move forward in life. No, it stains you. It engraves itself on your soul in a way that cannot be undone. The deepest scars are often not the ones you can see, but the ones that are buried deep inside, hidden from the world, festering quietly in the depths of your consciousness. They will live with this betrayal for the rest of their days. It will seep into every action, every thought, and every step they take, like an invisible force that constantly reminds them of their darkest moments. In the beginning, they may try to justify it. They may convince themselves that it wasn't as bad as it seemed, that the damage was minimal, that everyone will eventually move on. But deep down, they know. They know the depth of their actions, and no matter how many lies they tell themselves, the truth remains. The truth is like a shadow that follows them, a presence that they cannot escape. It is there when they sleep, haunting their dreams with images of what they have done, and it is there when they wake, a bitter taste in their mouths, an unshakable weight on their chest. Every time they look into someone's eyes, they will see the reflection of what they have lost. They will see the trust they shattered, the loyalty they betrayed, the love they so carelessly discarded. And it will hurt. It will hurt because they know they cannot repair the damage they've caused. They cannot undo what has been done. The people they have hurt, the ones who once believed in them, will never be the same again. Their hearts will be scarred forever, and the relationship that once existed between them will never return to its original form. They may try to make amends. They may seek forgiveness, beg for a second chance. But deep down, they know that forgiveness doesn't come easily, especially when it is earned through manipulation, deceit, and lies. Forgiveness isn't some gift that can be handed out on demand. It isn't something that can be bartered for or negotiated. It is earned through genuine remorse, through a willingness to face the truth, to take responsibility for one's actions, and to endure the consequences without expectation of a reprieve. And even then, forgiveness is not a guarantee. The real challenge comes not in seeking forgiveness, but in confronting the mirror. The mirror that reflects the person they have become, the person shaped by their choices. For every betrayal, there is a transformation, and that transformation is not always a positive one. The person they once were, the one full of hope, full of integrity, full of trust, is now tainted. It is gone. And they will never be able to return to that version of themselves. The betrayal has changed them, and it has irreversibly altered their path. They will try to ignore the emptiness inside, the nagging sense of loss, but it will always be there, lurking beneath the surface. In moments of quiet, when the world slows down, and there is no distraction to shield them, the truth will resurface. The guilt will gnaw at them, tearing apart any illusion of peace they once had. They will struggle with themselves, torn between wanting to escape the consequences and knowing that they must face them head on. They may try to drown out the pain with distractions, with alcohol, with fleeting relationships, with superficial achievements, but nothing will ever fill the void left by betrayal. The emptiness will be a constant companion, one that no amount of external success can ever touch. In their attempts to find solace, they may turn to others. They may reach out to those they've hurt, desperately trying to reclaim what they've lost. But the truth is, it will never be the same. The bond that once existed will be broken, and while they may receive surface-level forgiveness, the depth of what they've done will never be forgotten. It will always hang in the air between them, an unspoken barrier, a wall that cannot be breached. The people they've betrayed will move forward, yes, but they will move forward with caution. They will carry the weight of that betrayal in their hearts, just as the betrayer carries it in theirs. The damage is done, and it cannot be undone. The betrayer will begin to see the world differently. They will notice how fragile trust truly is, how delicate human relationships can be, and how easily they can be shattered by a single moment of weakness or selfishness. The world will no longer look the same. They will see betrayal in the faces of others, in their actions, in their words, and they will feel a deeper sense of mistrust creeping into their own heart. They will never again be able to fully open themselves up to others, for fear that they too will betray them, just as they betrayed those who once trusted them. It will be a cycle of fear, a constant battle between the desire to trust and the knowledge that betrayal is always a possibility. And then there's the loneliness. Betrayal creates a rift between the betrayer and the world. It isolates them, even when they are surrounded by people. They may have a smile on their face, they may engage in casual conversations, but deep down, they know they are alone. The bonds they once had with others are severed, and the connections they try to make are built on a foundation of lies and deceit. They will never again experience the fullness of genuine, unguarded relationships. They will always be looking over their shoulder, wondering when the next betrayal will come, wondering when their actions will catch up with them. The loneliness will become their constant companion. It will seep into their every moment, like a poison that dulls the joy of life, and they will try to ignore it. They will try to mask it with distractions, but it will always be there, gnawing away at them from the inside. They will try to convince themselves that they are better off alone, that they don't need anyone else. But the truth is, they will always need others. Humans are not meant to live in isolation. We are social creatures, wired for connection, and when that connection is broken, something inside us dies. The betrayer will feel that death, the slow and painful disintegration of their own humanity. Over time, they may begin to see the consequences of their betrayal in the lives of others. The people they hurt, the ones they betrayed, will move on, but they will move on in a way that is forever changed. The hurt may not always be visible, but it will be there, just beneath the surface. The scars will remain, and the betrayer will have to live with the knowledge that they were the cause of that pain. They will see the lives of those they hurt, and they will realize that they have stolen something from them, something irreplaceable. They may never know the full extent of the damage they've caused, but they will know enough to understand that the cost of betrayal is far higher than they ever imagined. The impact of their actions will echo throughout their lives, reverberating in ways they never expected. Opportunities that once seemed endless will start to dry up. People will start to distance themselves, to close themselves off, and the betrayer will find themselves increasingly isolated, rejected by those who once supported them. It is a cruel and harsh reality, but it is the reality they have created. They may try to blame the world, blame the people they've hurt, blame anyone but themselves, but deep down, they know the truth. They know that they are the architects of their own downfall, and as time passes, the betrayer will grow weary. They will grow tired of pretending, tired of running from the consequences, tired of fighting against the truth. The weight of their actions will begin to wear on them, and they will feel the suffocating pressure of guilt, regret, and shame. The truth will become undeniable, and they will be forced to face it. They will have to reckon with the person they have become, and they will have to live with the knowledge that they cannot undo what has been done. They will be left with nothing but the harsh reality of their choices and the suffering they have caused. In the end, they will understand that the consequences of betrayal are not just external, not just in the form of broken relationships or lost opportunities. The consequences are internal, deep within the soul. The guilt, the shame, the regret. These are the true costs of betrayal, and they will carry these costs with them for the rest of their days. There will be no escaping it, no way to outrun it, no way to pretend it isn't there. It will be a constant, ever-present reminder of what they have lost and what they have done. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the true horror of betrayal. It is not just the pain it causes to others, but the way it changes you, the way it eats away at your very soul, the way it isolates you from everything you once held dear. You will never escape it, you will never outrun it, and you will live with it for the rest of your days. There is no escaping the truth, no hiding from the consequences of what you've done. You will try to move on. You will try to bury it deep within the recesses of your mind, but it will always be there. It will follow you like a shadow that stretches across the walls of your thoughts, ever present, never letting you forget the depths of your betrayal. The truth will always find its way to the surface, no matter how many layers you try to pile on top of it. It will claw its way through the walls you build around it and force you to confront the ugliness you've created. At first, it may seem like a distant echo, something you can push aside with relative ease. But the longer you live with it, the more it settles into your bones. Every relationship you try to form, every new interaction you engage in, will be tainted by the knowledge of what you've done. You can no longer look at the world the same way. The innocence you once had, the trust you once offered so freely, will be lost forever. You have opened a door that cannot be closed, and now, as much as you may wish for a way out, you will never be able to undo the damage. It will eat away at you slowly, methodically, until all that remains is a hollow version of the person you once were. Every day, you will find new ways to deal with it. You will distract yourself with work, with meaningless relationships, with empty pleasures. You will tell yourself that you are moving forward, that you are somehow building a new life, but deep down, you know that you are just running from the truth, running from the guilt, running from the weight of the mistakes you've made. The more you run, the heavier the burden becomes. You cannot outrun what you have done, because it is within you, wrapped around your soul, etched into every memory, every thought, every action, and it will remain with you until the end of your days. You will look into the faces of others, and you will see something different now. The trust they give you, the faith they have in you, will feel foreign. You will know, deep down, that you don't deserve it. You will see their expectations, their hopes for you, and you will feel unworthy of them. They will see the person they want to see, the person you pretend to be, but underneath the surface, you will know the truth. You will know that you are nothing more than a liar, a deceiver, someone who has betrayed the very people who trusted you, and that realization will tear at you from the inside out. You will wonder how you ever thought you could hide from it, how you ever thought you could go on living a normal life when you know the depths of what you have done. But the damage doesn't stop with you. No, the consequences of betrayal ripple outward, affecting everyone and everything you touch. You may think that your actions are isolated, that they only impact the people directly involved, but you are mistaken. When you betray someone, you fracture the world around them. You take away their peace, their security, their sense of stability. And that is not something that can ever be repaired. They will carry the scar of your betrayal with them, just as you carry yours, but their suffering will be different. You will never truly understand the full impact of what you have done to them. You may see the hurt in their eyes, the way they recoil from you, but you will never be able to undo the damage, and that knowledge will torment you. You will never be able to put things right. The fractures you have caused will remain forever. As the days drag on, the guilt will begin to suffocate you. You will look at yourself in the mirror and see a stranger staring back at you. The person you were before the betrayal, the one who lived with integrity, who believed in the goodness of others, will be gone. You will no longer recognize the person in the reflection. You will wonder what happened to the person you once were, the one who had values, who cared about the people around them. You will realize that you have become someone unrecognizable, someone who has forsaken everything they once stood for. The betrayal will slowly erode your sense of self, and you will find yourself wondering who you even are anymore. You will wish you could go back to that time, that moment before everything fell apart, when you still had the chance to make things right. But you can't. The past is gone, the damage is done, and you will live with it for the rest of your days. At times, you may feel the urge to explain yourself. You may want to justify your actions, to convince yourself and others that you had reasons, that there were circumstances beyond your control that led you to betray. But in the end, it doesn't matter. The truth is, no matter how much you try to explain it, you will always know that betrayal is betrayal. There is no excuse. There is no valid reason for tearing down the trust and the love someone has placed in you. And deep down, you will know that no amount of explaining will change the fact that you have hurt someone in the deepest possible way. The guilt will eat away at you, and you will come to realize that there is no way to take it back. No words, no actions, no attempts at redemption will undo the fact that you have betrayed them, and so you will try to fill the emptiness inside with other things. You will try to convince yourself that you can move forward, that you can find happiness again, but it will never feel the same. There will always be something missing. The joy you once experienced will feel hollow, and the successes you achieve will feel meaningless. You will find yourself chasing after things that don't matter, trying to fill the void left by the betrayal, but nothing will ever truly satisfy you. You will try to tell yourself that you are fine, that life will go on, but deep inside, you will know the truth. You will know that nothing can ever be the same again. The weight of your actions will hang over you like a storm cloud, always threatening to rain down on your life. And yet, despite all of this, life will go on. The world will continue to spin, and people will continue to live their lives. The people you have betrayed will move forward as best as they can, though they will never forget what you did. You may never see the full extent of their suffering, the ways in which your actions have affected them. You will never know how deep the pain runs, how many nights they lie awake, wondering why they trusted you in the first place. You will never know the depth of the wounds you've inflicted, but you will feel them nonetheless. They will become a part of you, etched into your soul, a constant reminder of the damage you've done. Over time, the reality of betrayal will begin to settle in. You will realize that the past can never be erased, that the scars it leaves are permanent. You will understand that you are forever marked by what you've done, and you will begin to accept that there is no going back. The remorse you feel will become a part of your daily existence, and you will come to understand that you will never be free of it. You may try to pretend, you may try to act as though everything is fine, but you will always carry the weight of your actions with you. And as you grow older, as time marches on, you will look back and reflect on the life you could have had, the relationships you could have built, the trust you could have maintained. You will see the opportunities you squandered, the people you pushed away, and the life you destroyed with your own hands, and you will wonder if it was worth it. You will wonder what could have been if only you had made a different choice. But by then, it will be too late. The life you had is gone. The person you were is gone, and you will live with the consequences for the rest of your days. You see, betrayal is not just a moment in time. It is not something you can sweep under the rug and forget about. It is something that stays with you, something that becomes a part of who you are. And once you have betrayed, once you have crossed that line, there is no going back. You will carry it with you, always, and the weight of it will grow heavier as the years go by, as you realize more and more the depth of the pain you've caused. There will be no escaping it, no way to outrun it. It will be with you for the rest of your days. In the end, betrayal leaves a permanent mark on both the betrayer and the betrayed. It creates scars that time cannot heal and burdens that cannot be cast aside. No matter how much you may wish to forget, the consequences will follow you, etched into your soul and your actions. You cannot undo the damage once it is done. And as you move through life, you will carry the weight of those choices, unable to escape the truth. The price of betrayal is steep, and it is paid in full for the rest of your days.